Good afternoon. Mr. Chairman of the Conference, Mr. Director General of the ILO, Your Excellencies, the esteemed heads of delegations, ladies and gentlemen, allow me first to convey to you the cordial greetings from the homeland of pride and resilience, Palestine, from the President Mahmoud Abbas, the Prime Minister and the Palestinian government, leadership and its people, as well as the voices of the Palestinian workers, crying loudly in an attempt to request protection, social justice, and an end to years of oppression. Civilians in the Gaza Strip are being targeted and killed on a daily basis, and the policies of tightening the siege, thirst, and starvation are at their most severe, being used as a tool for war. Thus, our Prime Minister declared Gaza Strip a famine zone in which food security does not exist, affecting the entire population. It constitutes a deliberate humanitarian crime, manifested in the scenes of begging for food, the skinny bodies of children, and the cries of pain coming from the tents of the displaced from their homes and beloved ones. Unfortunately, more than 52,000 martyrs have passed away, the majority of whom are children, women, and the elderly. Some of them have been buried, and some are still under the rubble. The number of the injured has exceeded 123,000. The number of the disabled has doubled to reach over 70,000. The number of orphans has reached 40,000. More than 80% of the infrastructure and 70% of the water infrastructure were destroyed, leading to a serious water crisis. All of this is a desperate attempt to implement the failed scheme of forced displacement. While all of this takes place in Gaza, the Israeli assault on the cities and camps of the West Bank continues, especially in the northern governorates, manifested in the demolition of houses, systematic destruction of infrastructure, displacement of camp residents, the fall of about 1,000 martyrs, and the arrest of more than 10,000 Palestinians up to date. The West Bank has been geographically fragmented, and the movement of goods, individuals, and workers has been restricted by the establishment of more than 900 military checkpoints and steel gates. As for the Green Line workers, most of them are still deprived of returning to their jobs. After nearly 200,000 Palestinian workers were laid off since the outbreak of the war. This is coupled with a decline in external support for the Palestinian treasury, the continued seizure and hacking of clearance tax funds, and their exploitation to exert political pressure on the government in an attempt to weaken it, since the government was unable to meet its obligations and pay its employees' salaries in full. All of this has negatively impacted the social and economic situation and the labor sector, as sustainable economic development has become almost impossible. Unemployment rates rose to unprecedented levels, reaching about 52% in Palestine, leading to poverty. Unfortunately, all of this is happening without effective accountability or legal pursuit, and in contradiction with treaties, international laws, and United Nations resolutions. Israel's repeated refusal for the second time in a row to allow the fact-finding mission affiliated with the ILO to enter the Palestinian territories reflects a deliberate attempt to obscure the truth and reject transparency. It raises serious questions about what the occupation is trying to conceal in terms of workers' rights, human rights, and international law. Facing these challenges and the bitter reality, the Palestinian government has never wavered its responsibility towards its people. It established the Government Operations Room for Emergency Interventions to provide services and assistance to our people in the Gaza Strip, as it adopted effective interventions in the northern Western Bank, to alleviate the repercussions of the ongoing Israeli assault on its cities and camps. We continue to work with partners to regulate the labour market through social dialogue, and we are currently focused on amending the labour law and establishing labour courts. We provide employment support services and implement interventions supported by donors to create decent job opportunities for all groups through the employment offices, as well as supporting programs for small, medium and entrepreneurial enterprises, in addition to providing free skills training programs. Ladies and gentlemen, from this podium, in light of the aforementioned, we call upon you to provide all possible support to our emergency response programme, to provide urgent support to the labour sector and the unemployed for the past 17 months. I would also like to extend my sincere gratitude and appreciation to ILO and ALO and to everyone who supported us and provided us with the assistance to achieve the observer state status. In conclusion, we call on the international community to act, to stop the genocide war waged by the Israeli occupation against the Gaza Strip and assault on the West Bank, to allow the entry of humanitarian aid according to the previous approved mechanisms, to condemn the pointless Israeli threats to reoccupy Gaza Strip, and to be engaged in a comprehensive political process based on the two-state solution. As Palestinians, our ultimate goal is clear and explicit, which is to attain our legitimate rights, foremost of which is the right to self-determination, establishing an independent sovereign state with East Jerusalem as its capital, and living in a homeland that enjoys security, peace, social justice and stability. And this certainly cannot be achieved without ending occupation. Thank you.